Debt is what's keeping you stuck. Debt is what's keeping you from moving forward financially. And guys, let me be clear. I'm not talking about all debt. When I talk about debt on this channel, I'm mainly talking about consumer debt. And a lot of people get in debt for a whole bunch of different reasons. But the main two that I find that's the most common, particularly, is one, try to keep up with the Joneses, buying things that we can't afford. So that'll be things like cars, mainly cars. Or they could sometimes be things of luxury, like shoes, designer bags, designer purses, just to impress people. And that's one of the worst financial decisions to do. Buy things just to impress somebody, just to show them that, hey, I'm getting to the bag, that, hey, I'm getting money. Hey, look at me, I'm getting money. Just to show off your wealth. Wealth is built behind the scenes. Wealthy, they don't feel the need to show off their money. Like me. I don't feel the need to show that I got a whole bunch of money. I wear basic clothes. Yeah, I might cop a little shoes here and there, but if I want them, I'll pay cash for them, and I make sure that I got the funds for them after everything else is taken care of. Another reason why people do that is because of overspending. Their spending habits are out of control. They're spending more than they make. They feel like a credit card is more. They feel like a credit card is something that they don't have to pay back, and that it's free money. And when the payment comes, when the balance comes, they'll be like, oh, I'll just make the minimum payment, while interest quietly compounds in the background. But guys, I was thinking about this earlier. When you're in debt, you have limited options. Your options almost become scarce. You operate from a scarce mindset because you have to go to work every day. You have to take the job that you have to take the job. You have to just take any job instead of wait and get out. Almost, you have to take it. You have to take a job, take an opportunity, even if you don't like it. You still got to take it anyway. Working long hours, don't have time to see your family. You have to go to work. You're in debt. Like, I was thinking, imagine being someone who can't enjoy not one part of their labor. And that's the case for a lot of Americans today. They're working just to pay back debts. A borrower is a slave to the lender. This is the verse right here. A borrower is a slave to the lender. So, and a lot of people, they just spend. They have cars that they can't even afford. The average car payment in America is $750. Guys, investing somewhere around, I believe it's $583 a month for 1 year. That's notching out a Roth IRA. If you do that over the course of 20 to 40 years, you'll be a millionaire. Assuming that the S&P 500, if you was to invest in a low-cost index fund, like the SP 500, returns on an average 8 to 10%, like it normally does. But also keep this in mind. Past market successes does not guarantee current market, does not guarantee future or current market returns. That's just going based off history, and that the SP 500 has a long track record. Like, you guys, wealthy people, they make their money work for them. People who operate from a scarce mindset, or have no money at all, living check to check, they live their life showing like they got money. Like, it's just so crazy to me how we continue to do this, and we wonder why we're struggling, wonder why we can't get ahead. because of debt. Guys, I'm anti-debt. I don't have a car loan, nothing. I'm not in credit card debt, no nothing. Everything I have, I pay cash for, all my assets, because I realize that debt in the future will just be eating away at my paycheck. If I wasn't getting the debt now, it'll be the reason why later I'm struggling. You guys realize that when you guys are out of debt, after your utilities and things of that nature, you don't owe nobody anything. You don't owe nobody anything. And depending where you live, your utility bills to keep up with your household, that can sometimes be cheap or moderate, not even expensive like a car payment. And I don't understand how people even get into car payments anyway, because you have so much stuff to pay for. Even with the car, you have repairs, you have gas. That has been skyrocketing, like $4 to $5 a gallon. Some states has gotten to as high as even $6 a gallon, which is super outrageous. You have gas, maintenance, insurance, repairs, and that's been going up because car prices are going up. And the reason why inflation has been going up is because of gas prices. Gas prices, basically, I wouldn't say it controls inflation, but it plays a huge part of inflation, because people have to get things delivered. The trucks that you see people stock, people get stuff out of the truck at a retail store or anything like that. Stores have to spend more transportation costs just to get the goods coming in. As a result, they're going to have to raise their prices to make sure that they're still making profit, to make sure that the company is still healthy and things of that nature. But there are still people who are doing good out here, despite all the economic downturn. There are people who are still living straight, and that's because those people are not in debt. They got themselves out of debt. They realize that consumerism debt is no good. All these credit cards and all these car loans. Guys, consumerism debt is the biggest wealth killer. And to me, sometimes, I don't normally count mortgages as debt, while it technically is, because you're still trying to pay back something, but that is something that's going up in the future. Me, I mainly focus on debt on this channel as consumerism debt, things that go down in value, like cars and credit cards. Definitely credit cards. Some people do need car loans, but a lot of people sign on predatory car loans, and they realize that I can't afford this car payment. Somebody once said, why would you pay for something that is helping you make payments on something that is helping you get to work? I don't want to be like that. I don't want to get up and go to work every day just to pay off for the appreciating asset, just to put all the money into an asset and realize that over the years I'm throwing all my money away because of interest. You're just giving the financial institution free money essentially because of interest. Nowadays, people either sign a super short term so they could feel like I can afford the payment, or their monthly car payment is going to be super high because they financed it for a super short period of time, which is honestly good. But honestly, you want to keep your transportation costs under 10 to 20%. But I know in this economy, people are spending close to 25 to 30%. A car is not your house. You should be spending 30% on your housing. And a lot of people, to be honest, are having more mortgages that they can't afford. That's why people are getting foreclosed on. And a lot of people are signing car loans that can't afford. As a result, car repos have been going up. I know 2 people who have gotten their car repossessed. Only one of them is able to get it back. The other one hasn't. And I said to myself, and the person who financed the car who wasn't able to get it back, I believe that their monthly payment was around $700 to $800. I'm like, I don't even spend that for transportation. Since I use the bus, I probably won't even spend that on transportation in a year or two. You know? So it's just like when you have debt, you can't enjoy the fruits of your labor. We all gotta get up and go to work every day. But it just feels like work is just more stressful when you have all these bills you gotta pay for. Like me, work is not stressful. You're gonna have to tire yourself out. You're gonna have to grind every day, work long hours, overtime, constantly asking the company, hey, can I get more hours? Versus when you don't have debt, I'm not gonna say you could work whenever you want to, but it's almost like you get to live life on your own terms, especially when you have an emergency fund. When you really got an emergency fund and you pretty much know how much money you need on a month-to-month basis to keep up with yourself, at that point, I would say you're pretty much then living life on your own terms. And guys, I'm there, but at the same time, trying to get there. Like there's more steps for me to reach. But that is the place where everybody should desire to reach, and not having to tie themselves to credit cards and car loans, because I don't understand how people have both. And sometimes their wages aren't even that good, so I don't understand how people have credit card debt and car debt. I know they're stressed out because I know a lot of people who have both and they're stressed out. All they do is talk about how they gotta pay this debt back. It's stressing them out. You can see it in their face. Guys, peace of mind, that's all you want out of life. And you can't have that when you have consumerism debt. Everywhere we go, they're trying to get us to go into debt. So guys, even when you're out of debt, you still have to put up a fight to make sure that you stay out of debt and to make sure that you don't go back into the shackles of debt. Because guys, debt will stress you out. Debt, it just does so much to you beyond your finances. It stresses you out. That is the reason why you have to stay in situations that you don't like. That is the reason why sometimes you have to stay in relationships that you don't like. Yes, that's relationships. I'll probably make a video about that later, how that correlates with each other. And that is the reason why what's stopping you from investing, what's stopping you from building wealth, because all your money is going down the drain in depreciating assets. So you guys, stay out of debt and build wealth, because debt is not worth it.